process, developing slowly, stage by stage? Or was it created all at once and the human being was given a certain mission, structure? Listening to you, dear Master, we come to assume that the first human beings of the first civilization were unable to implement their mission. And those who managed to implement it went higher, and they were the ones who later incarnated in such higher beings as Buddha, Jesus, and others. And I understand, though, if we come to our fifth civilization, I could think that most probably its task was to prepare our fifth to be able to accept higher souls of higher beings. So, dear Master, I don't understand why. How were second, third, fourth civilizations being created and the fifth one? Is there some special mission given to them? And the second question of mine is regarding transform energy. Can we be uniting with the whole of the planet Earth all at once? Or should we be uniting, merging country by country? Thank you very much.
Now, as you know, I want to clarify further for you about the first, the second, or the following human races. It takes a long time, a lengthy explanation, but I want to remind you, on the planet Earth, as I learned the lesson from the deities about 34 years ago, on Earth, as the deities, God want to create the humans is created by universal energy, so that to measure the degree of wisdom and enlightenment of the human, how high can we reach? Do we reach the love toward the human? Can the humans help others to have wisdom or not? No. As the deities have done so through many stages, and at the final stages, God thinks that the human race in Atlantis, they could do it, but then because of selfishness and power struggle, that caused chaos to the human world. That is the reason the humans, we lost our ability, we lost our wisdom, we lost our enlightenment from the time that God had taken all the body and the soul of the people in Atlantis to return back. Therefore, I share with you the truth. On the first day, Master Lảo UNG MINH ĐÁNG here, sometimes I learned and I thought that God tested my body. And sometimes I feel very compassionate toward people. And sometimes I myself, I have anger, I want to retaliate, I feel hatred. That is, I share with you how I feel. Each time in my mind I want to retaliate, or I want to express anger or hatred to teach others, to teach the good or the bad people. I have all of this emotion through my journey of 34 years of learning. But I'm fortunate that at the end of the journey, the body and the soul of my Master Lảo UNG MINH ĐÁNG, I forgot all of those in the past. I'd rather accept to die. Do not accept to do the evil thing to harm people, even though my intention to do the evil to help people with enlightenment, but I do not do it. Perhaps my soul do not allow my body to do it. So for that reason, when I overcome all of the trial in the beginning of the year 2007, when I taught you the first session of level 19 in Australia, before the end of level 19, and I tell all of you, the new soul here, never been on this earth. So for that reason, I do not have any hatred before the change of the new soul. So now, similarly for you, you are fortunate that when I start to teach at level 20, I give you my opinion, I let you do it, so that you are able to receive a new soul, that you have a chance to contribute, to apply, to see the result that as you are helping the people, your family, the communities around the world. That is how I want to share with you. Go back to the point. You may be surprised why the energy can create the humans. You are not doing it. The highest being, the deities, who can create the entire universe. So the human in the physical form to create is not so difficult. But I want to share with you, in the case 2,000 years ago, one of the women who can give birth in the Immaculate Conception, the Virgin Mary. How many people believe? They believe in Jesus, but not Mary. Even though they know for sure that Mary gave birth to Jesus Christ, it was a divine plan. But now, 2,000 years later, in a level 19, level 20, you experiment. But 2,000 years ago, Mary gave birth to Jesus Christ just like other women, but this time it's not like that. In the case of the fetus, it did not take the shape and it turned into the infant. If we can do it, then the humans on earth, we will have a new world, new people. I hope that next year, in the year 2008, in a large Ewe family, there's a woman who can give birth, as I had mentioned to you. Then for sure, the humankind will take a very high step to reach wisdom and enlightenment. I do not know. In the level 19, at the end of the class, that 6 months later I can teach the level 20. I thought that the level 20 you would continue to learn, to practice, to pray, and to merge with the deities, and then to help yourself with the wisdom and enlightenment. But I never know. Before the class, I did not know about the concept of these human races in the beginning, that they are stuck because of their power struggle, their selfishness, and they want to get rid of power and selfishness in our bodies, so that they can merge into our body to help the humankind. The power in the dark, the power from the spiritual, not the material in the human world. Only in that way, then you can help out in the light, you can help in society. That is the purpose of the level 20. And in the level 20, that I would know the result at the present time. The being from these first human races that can help us so we can carry out and give to us in the last human race, in order to help to erase all the problem from the first to the fourth human race, so they become like deities without any name or title. They are the unknown. They have the capacity to help mankind. So in a way, at last, that is the success of the fifth human race. That is you and me. That is how I explain for you. Through this question, as you ask about merging to earth, I advise for you. The country, your religion, your city, your town, you take care of them. Earth, I take care of it. It is so large. To the deities, it is just like a grain of sand in the universe, but to us, it is so large. Now, we just take care of the 5 continents. Wherever you are, you take care. The country that you are, take care of your own country. The religion, you take care of the religion. Each day, for me, at least 2 times, I merge to earth to help the soul of all the living creatures on earth to evolve. That is my own mission. It is not that I try to take it from you, because I know it is so new for you. For you, your mission is to take care of your family, your religion, your country, so that you are able to advance higher. Then later on you will have the opportunity, you are able to help the communities in the world. So that is how I explain for you, so you can understand. It doesn't mean that you cannot or you can do it, so I can do it myself. Whatever I tell you, you can do it, you do it. If not, instead of doing it for the whole earth, it is best to help your own country, your region where you live, your neighbors, your loved one, your family members, your acquaintance. That is how I share with you through this question from this student. I hope that you can understand and you know. In the next few days, we only have 2 more days, what will be the end of the seminar. I hope that I will update further with the new subjects, so you can go home and you can apply in a basic technique. Perhaps tonight, TRONG will type after he typed and send an email to Thailand, so you can try to translate into Thai. We only send email in English and Vietnamese. Perhaps you can translate into your own local language. It is a short document, so hopefully you can try your best to translate into your native language, so you have the chance to learn, to practice accordingly in order to help yourself and to help others. Hopefully tomorrow, all of you in Europe, Thailand and Australia, you will have the basic technique for the level 20. So now in Australia, right here, Australia.
Dear Master Dang, dear late Teresa, well, thanks for being here. I'd like to ask, you in the last level 18, at the end of level 18, you mentioned that you were, if I understood correctly, the supervisor of all souls, of all living beings and all living creatures and human beings and so on. So I'd like you to, if you could please share with us some more knowledge about this. And the other question is about the 4 civilizations. You mentioned that the 4th civilization was the civilization of Atlantis, and and Atlantis and Egypt. And I was wondering which were the previous civilizations. So if you could share some more information also on this issue with us, I would be very grateful. Thanks.
Listen carefully. Sometimes you did not hear clearly and you did not ask clearly. I clarify for you. First of all, a soul far away, never been on this earth, who can contribute to help all the soul on here when whoever need my help, my mission, just like in the field of complementary medicine. Perhaps you can treat any. You can treat in any other technique, but when they come to complementary medicine, we can help in any aspect. So my soul, there is no exception. My soul come here first to help the soul of all the living creatures in general and the large Yui family all over the world. So you listen carefully. My mission is all of you, whether you are from the level 1 with the chakra open 30% up to level 20, my soul with the responsibility to help you, to protect you in any situation, because you come to the Yui family of Master Dang, of the soul Master Dang. More or less, we have the link in the past until now in the future, so that's why I have to take care of you, regardless of any situation, when you need, and I'm ready to help you unconditionally. On the contrary, if they're outside the Yui family, whether they are in the country or anywhere, if they need my soul, I help. If not, I do not come. So I clarify for you on that point. It doesn't mean that my soul come here and I'm the supervisor to take care of all of the soul of the living creature and the humans. No, I help all the living creatures unconditionally, because they are just like the younger brothers and sisters So we have to take care of all of these lower life forms so that they can grow and be mature. That I'm talking about all of the lower life forms, the animal, the plants. But for the humans, when they need, then I come. I come to help, then I go. It doesn't mean that you need, I come to help, and then I stay there with you to cause problem to you. No. I come to help you. Then you can take care of your country, you take care of your religion, you take care of your family, and then I go. It doesn't mean I help you and then I stay there to have the reward. No. Because I help you, and after I complete my mission, I go to take care elsewhere to help other people. So you listen carefully on that part. As you ask, I answer clearly for you. To avoid the case that you misunderstand, do not think that my soul from far away who come down here on earth, so that I can control all of the soul, the living creature and the human, and then you have to follow whatever I say. No, including in the EV, similarly, you need me to teach, you need me to explain, you need me to give the answer, you need me to share, to answer, to share to all of you. But then through your application, it is up to you. It doesn't mean I share to you and then I force you to do this and do this and do this. To do it, it is up to your body to do it. Your soul help you. But my soul has the ability to help your soul so you can help your body when you need me. So you listen carefully on that part. I explain very clear for you so you don't get confused. That is about the soul of Master Dang at the present time. Now, we talk about many human races as the people that they make up the first, the second. They use some names to refer to so we can understand according to the legend, according to the archaeologists. Just like, for example, like now I give you the example. Let's say the LØNG. In English, it is different. In Vietnamese, they say it is a phổi. In English, it is the lung. In French, it is different. In Italian, it's different. In German, it is different. In Chinese, it is different. But there is only one lung. So when you hear it, you say this, it may be wrong. It may be wrong in your own language, but it is right in the other languages. So as you can see, all of the creatures, whether they are living and dead, they are all fake. Just like when they describe many of these famous people within recent 5-7 centuries, and the people from the fifth human race, as they travel every places, a person, no matter the person who is with a lot of sin and after death, and he was praised and worshipped. Just like for the past few days, I mentioned to you the living who give posthumous title and also praise the dead person as a high being. God did not vote for the dead to be a high being. No. Only the human, the lower one who give vote to praise for the dead to have to be a high being. So from low we give praise to them as a high being, give rank to them. In the human world, would you say that they have the merits? I have worked to those with those who were in the war, and they have the merit. They have the medal. But some people who are sitting in desk doing nothing, and they have the higher medal than the soldier who fight in the battle. So that is in the human world. That is because of the power. That I have gone through. I do not want to say anyone, Master Dang, I have seen through. I'm at home, I'm just writing. Outside in the war, they were fighting in the battle. They have the medal less than my own medal. My Master Dang right here. I do not want to say anyone. That is the real truth. That is one of the lessons for me. So that I use this means to guide, to help you. That is how in the human society, perhaps the time that the human reach the highest state of spiritual development, the humans can understand spirituality to contribute to help the material right now with the crisis, with the threat that is our planet Earth, with the global warming, the environment, with the changes. For that reason, the human can reach the consciousness about life, about the soul, about the high being. Therefore, in the level 20, I'm guiding you. So all of these strange phenomenon would come. Like Master Dang, I'm also surprised not to mention about you in the level 20. That is how I share with you. So the first to the fourth human race, so you can understand easy. Just like when I teach you, you are from different races. And in the Sanskrit, that is one of the ancient language in Buddhism. If you are Catholics, the name of the chakra 1 in Sanskrit, or as the name of the chakra 2, chakra 3, only say the chakra 2, 3, 4, 7, and you keep on forgetting. If you have to read the real name in Sanskrit, then for sure you cannot remember. You'll be confused between the chakra 2, chakra 3, chakra 4, because if we use a Sanskrit name, it is difficult to pronounce. Only I teach you how to say Cầu nguyện Ngọc Hoàng Thượng Đế in the level 7. You keep on saying it. Sometimes it is difficult for you to say it. Not to mention about the name of the 6 chakra. Each name, some of the name, and they have a very long. The name of these chakras, a very long name in Sanskrit, so you get confused. And some of you are not fluent in language. You get confused. Just the number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and you are confused already. Therefore, I want to summarize, mention about these races, human races, that they have the ability, they develop spiritually. These are the human race that they have wisdom, enlightenment. But because of selfishness and greed, that is how perhaps God tests the human to see how much power or how much selfish that we can get, and that would finish for millions of years. Now we have this human race for hundreds of thousands of years. Hundreds of thousands of years. Only in the recent 200,000 years, the fifth human race, we've been around for the past 200,000 years. The previous human race, they've been around for millions of years. We were only behind them of only 200,000 years. We are fortunate that in the 20th century, at the end and in the beginning of the 21st century, we were born at the right moment of the transition that the humans are getting wisdom and enlightenment, as we are learning the first lesson, so that the people with wisdom and enlightenment, so that we can continue to have enlightenment. As in a beginning generation, we are helping the generations to have wisdom and enlightenment. Just at the present time, as we are learning and we are succeeding. Learning and we are succeeding. That is how I share with you to show can live up to 5,000 years. Hello, testing. Is there something? Some problem? Can you check the battery? Can you check the battery? Testing. 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 Testing.
You're breaking up.
Testing. Now I want to explain for you, as we are shortening the program, our human race, the fifth one, we were around for the past 200,000 years, from the fourth, and the fifth.
Vu, you're fading in and out.
Testing, 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 testing. Oh, testing. Okay.
You need more batteries, Master.
Oh. Testing, 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 testing. Okay.
Okay now.
Okay. So now, as you know, the human race that was around 200,000 years, that the people in the world within the recent 25 centuries, as we look toward Africa to come to Egypt, we think that they've been around for 5,000 years. We're talking about the pyramids in Egypt, but it's not like only the recent 1,000 years, but they were around for many thousands of years, but they could not succeed. And there were many other monuments in the world, like in Maya in Mexico. They're all gone. How do we prove to have wisdom and enlightenment? But there's one strange thing. When I come to Australia, there's a number of you, the students from 5 continents who come to Australia to learn the EV seminars. More or less, a number of you who were in the car without the engine, switch off the engine. The car is still moving uphill, regardless of the weight of the car. Perhaps to see some of the strange, this strange phenomenon, Master Đáng do not believe in it. So I came there to try it. When I come there, I see the car is moving uphill, rolling the can of water is rolling uphill. None of the scientists can prove this. However, when I see this strange phenomenon, as you are watching it, when you are sitting in the car to see the car moving uphill, I just meditate to measure, and I pray to the deities to reveal to me. And in fact, these masters in Australia, these spiritual masters, they have a lot of ability that was lost because they could not teach to anyone. So they left behind the energy. With that energy, as we know, from downhill, it can roll uphill. And the heavy object, aluminum can or water bottle, they're rolling uphill. I did not see, and my student saw that the water is also, during the rain, the water is flowing uphill. And that my student, they presented to me. So in the case of this strange phenomenon that a heavy car is rolling uphill, that never exists, but it happened, but nobody can prove. And there are other legends, number of you in the field of science. And you said that perhaps underneath there's a magnetic, a very strong magnetic field. But if it is metal, but this is a plastic water bottle, and it's still rolling uphill. So you cannot prove. For that reason, I want to remind you, in the EV family, scientists, even if the best in the world, they are still in a three-dimensional world. They could not learn everything. They could not experiment everything. So how can they apply the other dimension out in space? It's so difficult. They need to use the formula of the number 13, the spiritual formula of universal energy, in order to solve this problem. But I want to present to you a master with all the ability to help mankind, and they were lost. In parallel to that, I want to remind you, when you were in level 18, 19, I explained to you, if let's say you build a house, and that house were close to this soul of this ancestor who practiced black magic with all of the wandering soul, or in the past these are the burial ground, and this wandering soul are not liberated. As you build your house, this wandering soul just play around with you, that cause problem to you already. And this master, they left behind centuries ago, and they died. Or 150 years ago they died. Now they come to that to build the house with all the rituals you do not know how to follow. So this soul just play around with you. They're not harming you. They just play around. That cause problem to you already. So it is similar to the case that I want to say in Australia. The 50-meter hill and the car switch off the engine, the car is still rolling uphill. So you can see there are so many capable masters. In the nearest, the scientists or the spiritualists who hope to come to Egypt to find something spiritual in order to help mankind, but they were totally stuck. One of the billionaire and the scientists who came to Egypt, who also asked Master Dang to help with my opinion, but I refused unconditionally. So that was in the past. Now at the present, I want to share with you, me and you, we are very fortunate. We have the special ability that the purpose God had given this ability is to contribute to help mankind. Mankind here, meaning you at the present time, the children and grandchildren in the future, to have wisdom and enlightenment, so that our human race, we can have true wisdom, and we can clear the first, up to the fourth civilization, this to have no name, to be close to God. And then, in continuing, we will continue to return back, just like the stage of the first human race, with wisdom and enlightenment, without the power struggle and selfishness. Then the humankind will have peace from now to the future. That would end the question I want to share with you. And to the student in Brazil, so you have the means to learn and progress. Now next question over here.
Hello, Master, and Teresa, and fellow students. My name is Margaret, and I'm from Ontario, Canada. I have two questions. Master, can you talk more about how to apply the lesson of love 101? Also, can you talk more about our true self that lies deep within our heart? I have one more, quickly. Master, you have written and spoken of how we are the experimental models of the complex life and in the three-dimensional world. Can you elaborate on what our biggest test of all will be to know that this experiment is complete? Will this completion happen here on earth or as we become our true self? Thank you very much.
So the question from the student in Australia, in Canada, who come to Australia to learn. So I answer for you. I never thought that I only know. As you come down the mountain, meaning for people from Atlantis, after you learn the lesson 100, I'm stay behind because I am a slow learner. So that's why I learned the lesson 101. So with that extra one, I help you, all the people from Atlantis until now, the fourth human race, to prepare for the fifth human race, and that will be the end. However, when I teach the level 20, before the level 20, I do not know about this. I do not know. I do not know from now. Just so as I had mentioned to all the students first, eventually when you are in level 20, and another soul that will be with your body permanently, except only when you die. That's all I know. I do not know the soul, who is that soul, and from where that soul come from. I do not know. For the past few days, I mentioned to you already. I do not want to repeat it. I could not imagine that in the EV, in the level 20, the students, we are fortunate that there is the highest soul. We have to say that the highest soul, because in earth, these souls are the highest beside God. These are the soul with wisdom and enlightenment. They come out to space in the body, in the soul. They can go out easily, just like the highest being on earth, not out in the universe. So we are fortunate that this soul merged with you to help you with wisdom, to help you with enlightenment, so you can serve the communities, the country, the people. As you know, in the past, the books had mentioned about the true self. It means we do not eat or wear. Then we have the true self. That is your soul. That is a true self. The body, we can never develop the true self. When you are hungry, you have to eat. When you have pain, you have to take a medication. When you are thirsty, you have to drink. So you cannot have the true self. It is all the ego. For those, or any masters, or any people on earth in the human flesh, they say that they have the true self. I know I cannot do it. We learn from the true self. We are not the true self. After we learn the true self, only after our death, then we can have the true self. That is how I explained for you in many of the levels. But in this class, it is different. Now in this class, we become the true self. You say that I'm contradicting? No. I say I can teach and I can help you. We will have the true self for real. Because your body and your soul is universal energy. Then you are not dependent on the material, because if you don't want to, you have the true self. Because the soul in the past could not help you to develop the true self. But this soul has been with the true self to help you to develop the true self. It's not so difficult. That is the point that the soul can help your true self. Is when you close your eyes, you have the true self in 30 seconds, in an hour, or 2 or 3 hours. Your body and soul can go somewhere to help the humankind, to help the people in that region. That is the true self, the real one. In the books, they talk about the theory about the true self. That the true self is only the soul, not the body. Now, we come back to the position of the true self. That was millions of years ago. These are these human race that will be ahead of us. And the nearest one, that was around 200,000 years. These are the fourth human race in Atlantis. I explained for you, so you listen carefully. Today I explained about the true self. It's different than in the past, because now you are in the level 20, as you are about to receive the new soul, the highest soul, the new and high soul. Now, God has tested the human to see if we have wisdom enlightenment or not. If we have wisdom enlightenment, to see if we are selfish or not, or if you have power struggle or not. Master Dang has it, but now it is gone. From the year 2000, before the year 2007, I want to have power. But then starting from the year 2007, I do not want to have any power. I don't want to be selfish. In the past, I was very selfish. I want to keep the power, and that's how I am. Because a human, I'm still a human. I know how to love, to hate, to feel emotions. I feel drunk when I drink a lot. It doesn't mean I don't feel drunk. If I drink less, I don't get drunk. But I drink more, I get drunk. So I get drunk when I was drinking a lot. Normally, I would not be drunk. I tell you the truth. When I was eating, normally at lunch, I drink a little beer. Or at night, if I have a free time, I eat something or some peanuts. I'll drink a little red wine. I don't even drink a drop, not even a drop during the class, except only the Iwi garlic water. So, Master Dang, I make the Iwi garlic water. My student over here, they asked me, he said that I have 7 kilograms of garlic. So they asked me to give them a liter, because I said I mix with the garlic with 5-7 liter. Then they said they asked Master to give me 1 bottle. Some other people that I have to give to them, just like my mother-in-law. If I don't give it to her, then I will be in trouble. I just want to share with you. Now, if you don't want to have any more trial, this is not a condition I impose. I do not want to impose any condition. I do not want to impose any laws. I only remind you, so you listen carefully. From the level 19 to the past, your life, from the level 19 to the past, you can do anything. I don't have any comments. But now I just only advise for you. I advise that you have a very high soul. Then I only advise for you. You try your best to stay away from power and selfishness. Power, it might be difficult for you to have, but to get rid of it, it's so easy. Selfishness, if you want to get rid, you take away the selfishness. Then you have everything. The power you don't have. You cannot be a president of a country. You cannot be a politician. Only that way you can erase very easy. Now, the selfish issue. You are selfish in 5 minutes. So now, get rid of it. Not more than 5 minutes. Then you can succeed. Because I learned through. With everything I learned through, I want to share with you. Because I learned for you. So now I want to share with you. In 5 minutes, you are selfish. Why? So that after 5 minutes, you clear it. And then, when you want it, then your new soul will help your body. Whatever it comes, let it be. Do not be so selfish and to try to stop. It comes and it would go away. It just go forward. Do not try to block. So I advise for you on that point. I also want to share with you whatever it is within your reach, then you use it. Do not take it from others for yourself. That would be selfishness. What you can, you try to share whatever they have to others. Then, it is better that you can clear away from many to have many of the love and you share to others. So, in a way, you can get rid of your selfishness. So sometimes you're so stingy. When you have a lot, then when you have a lot, it is better than more than less. You know why I know these people are selfish? Because that is how I am. I was so difficult in the past. So many people who are selfish, and that would include me. I was selfish in the past also. I was so difficult because I was so selfish. It's not that I'm selfish for myself. That's why, for me, as I was wearing, I'm always very casual because now with you from far away, so I have to wear the suit. So you can see that, Master Dang, I'm look young, but normally I'm wearing very casual. My hair is set up for 3 weeks. I dye my hair. Otherwise, I let it for 6 weeks. So suddenly I dye my hair. So people say that how old I am. I said that I'm 75. So they say that I'm looking younger. So people, when you are 30, they ask your age. You say that you are 55, and they say that you are so young. And you just add 20 into your age. When they ask you, then you feel so young. When you are old, and they say how old you are, and they ask you how old you are 60, but you say that you are 52. And then if you are 60, you just tell that you are 60, you are so old. You try to reduce your age. So I tell you, when you are young, you tell them that you are old, that you are young. If you are old and you say that you are young, then you are old. So when you are young, you say that you are old, and then you are young. My God, no master teach you like Master Dang. I teach you in many ways. You have more. Once you have more, then you can get rid of your selfishness, and in that way you are relaxed. My God, that is in the Vietnamese. It is so difficult. I don't know if it is can be translated or not, because this is the south. The southern accent. I don't know if it can be translated in a northern accent. So to this question, I know that many of you are tired. At night you don't sleep. In the morning you stay up in the morning, and when you go into the class, you fall asleep in the class. And by 11 o'clock you go home and you start to stay awake. So now let me give you the announcement all over the world. Starting tomorrow in Thailand, all of the chief centers will be invited. So, you experiment the new website all over the world. So you can use the website with Mail Global website you can check. And so in tomorrow morning, all of the chief centers in Thailand, you will learn about the website in the morning before you go into the class. In Europe and in Thailand, all the chief centers in Thailand or in Europe, after 3 p.m. you stay behind so that the technician will show you how to use the new website, the Email Global. In Australia, right here, tomorrow at 11 p.m., all the chief centers you stay here, so you learn about the website. And those who are not as a chief center, you can go home and talk. So you listen carefully. And in Thailand, the one who can guide you, that is Zakro in Thailand. Tomorrow, Zakro, the center of all of the chief centers who come to Thailand to learn tomorrow, before you learn, before the class, you can contact Zakro to find out what time Zakro will teach you, the chief centers, how you can use the website, the Mail Global website. In Europe, after 3 p.m., in Australia, after 11 p.m. So you listen carefully. Only the chief centers that you need to attend, so you can, or otherwise, if you're not a center, then you can go home and gossip. No more question over here? Anyone? If there's no question, I'll ask you. If nobody asks, and I'll ask.
Con kính chào thầy, con kính chào cô.
Dear Master,
trước tiên thì con
first,
con xin chuyển lời dùm chị
I would like
CC Vũ ở bên Mỹ.
send my regret for CC,
chuyển lời gửi thăm
who would like to send her regrets to both of you.
3 ngày trước đó thì con có
3 days
rất là
ago,
nhiều câu hỏi.
I had many questions,
mà,
but
tại vì ngày hôm qua,
because yesterday and the other day, it seemed that you had answered all of my questions. I only have 2 questions.
Con từ nhỏ đến lớn đó thì con không có đi máy bay được, là bởi vì
from childhood until now I could not travel by air.
Cũng ói ra mật.
I always have nauseated.
Cho nên là con không có thể đi máy bay
I
lắm.
could not travel by air. But each time when you have the class, I try to go by air. In the level 19, when I travel, the moment I step on the aircraft from here going back to America.
Thường con lên thì con không có
Normally when I go, I could not sleep because I do not dare to sleep. Because I could not sleep in the flight. But I don't know how come there is an energy, a very light energy that seemed to push me. And that chair is small, but it seemed like I was in a very relaxed position. And I like, I don't know whether it is you or the deities who brought me somewhere. I disappeared. And I felt I go upwards. It means that I have to go out for a meeting. And suddenly, I went to a place that I see there's no humans, but I only see the shapes of the energy. And they said that I come to a meeting. But I said that there's no human, I cannot have a meeting without any humans. So I want to go back. And then when I woke up, I thought that I was still in the aircraft and they took me for a meeting. If there is a disagreement, instead of bringing back to the aircraft to return to America, return back to another aircraft to go to Africa, that would be a problem for me. But then 2 hours later, they brought me again to the same place. But I do not understand what happened. I know that it was not a dream or imagination. I don't know what happened. I would like to ask you, what is that phenomenon? And then on the first day when I returned back to America, I pray and I practice the technique to merge, and I merged to some of the sick people, and then afterwards you brought me and I traveled out to space, and I asked you to let me go to Vietnam to my mother's place. But that seemed to be very strange. I said, I do not like this. I asked you to bring me back. And I thought that over here, as you bring me to the place of your wife, it's not my, because I do not recognize this place. And then the following days, I said, I'm so lazy, I want to go to sleep. The moment I sleep, you brought me somewhere. You brought me out to space. And then you brought me up, and then you let me fall down. And you brought me up and let me fall down. And I said that, Master, I will fall and my hit hurt myself, my face. And when I look down, I see that I'm only a few inches from the floor. I said that you would not let me hit and hurt my face. The moment I think like that, you brought me up and then dropped me down again. And then you brought me back. And then I think that at that moment I returned into the energy. I would not be able to hurt my face. And each day afterwards, I do not pray, I do not drink the UE water. Each time when I sleep, and you brought me out, and you brought me to the local areas, going through the houses to visit one country another, I was able to go for a few times. And one day, in the morning when I woke up and I asked, then could it be that I travel or did I? You did not answer. And then on that night, before I sleep, the moment I just closed my eyes, I felt that I could not have any control, and then my hand has transformed into energy. I said that how come that arm turned into the energy? The moment I think like that, and the left arm also do the same, and the whole body transformed into energy. So you brought me out, and I asked you in the deities in Vietnam who that one is, and you brought me so far away, very far away. When I look back, I saw the earth. It's very small, just like a small ball. You only give one phrase to return back to nothingness. I do not understand what is it. Since you know that I do not understand, you brought me somewhere else to explain that on a spiritual path. That means that in your heart to live, meaning that you need to have virtue, and you explain a lot. And there's a part that is just like the Mekong article that you sent to us about 2 weeks ago. And then you brought me back. And when I read the Mekong article, after I read and I cried, even though I do not know why I cried. I could not understand, but I cried. I was very emotional. Does that mean that to return back to nothingness? I still do not understand. Could it be that you are teaching us about enlightenment? What is the enlightenment? How do we? How does it mean to be enlightenment? Being the nothingness, then to be enlightened, or to reach in the nothingness to be enlightened? That is the part I don't understand. through the presentation of this student from America who come to Australia to learn this level 20, I want to share with you in the future, you have a chance to return to your country by air. In the level 19 in the past, it will be different than this level 20. Through the presentation of this student in level 20, I want to share with you. If you want to go to sleep, it's so easy. Now it is easier than the previous levels. Whether you lose sleep, you are able to sleep easier because your soul go first and your body will follow, and your body would fall unconscious and sleep. In a way, as you practice to merge here and there, to merge to one person to another, your soul will constantly go, and you will lose all the sensation of your body. Your body will follow. This student is also fortunate, even though you could not practice to travel to space. But when you fall, when you lie down, as you lose the sensation, your body transforms into energy. So this is a way I can explain for you. So you are learning in level 20. This is a journey that 34 years ago, for the first time, when I pray to the deities, when I close my eyes to meditate, suddenly I was in a meditative state, meaning that I do not know anything. In my mind, I constantly receive messages without any distraction. Keep on receive, and learn. And learn, and then I write it down, receive, and I write, just like receiving the messages. But when I learn to receive the messages, it's all in codes, not in the Latin text, but it is all in codes that I learned for a long time. Then the deities told me to burn them. I do not want to burn all these papers. But the deities told me if I keep them, then I would not be able to learn. So I had to burn. I had to burn all of these codes that I wrote down, that the lesson I received from the deities. Then after I burned them, then the deities told me that it is stored all in my brain. I have full knowledge, and I remember everything, the past, the present, and the future. Even though these codes I do not know, but I still wrote down at that time. Afterwards, I continued to learn. The deities taught me the future, but I do not believe. And that was what I had to share with you. I want to show you through the subject that this student had mentioned in the future. If you want to transform your body into the energy, it can. On that, then your age, if you are fortunate, just like the fourth human race, more or less, we can live up to 3 to 6 centuries. If we are fortunate to live like the first or the second human race, we can live to 10 to 20 to 30 centuries, our lifespan. Why? So you can contribute to help mankind to evolve just like us. It is not to live for pleasure. Now, I don't know what happened, but in the future, in the next few months, that will be the answer to my question as well as all of you. That is, when you are so busy with a lot of work in helping, in merging, then that is the environment for the new humans. And the new humans, then you have to accept to volunteer to do it first, then you can help the new humans. These new humans to be just like us, as we have learned through and continue to learn. And as we help and continue to help. These are no strangers to you. These are through the question from this student. I just want to share with you, in the future, you will be just like this student. However, this student is still dependent on Master Dang. In the future, you are not dependent on anyone. If you want to merge, if you want to travel to space, you can do it right away. So you can contribute to help people. That is how I share with you through this question. So through the presentation of this student, that is a means for me to remind you that in the future, you yourself, you can do it faster than this student who present to you. So in a simple way, I tell you the nothingness in the heart, that will be the soul, that will be the air. As we return to that state, then you have wisdom. Because our body will still eat and wear. How can you have the enlightenment? For that reason, God had taught me, and I teach you, so our body can transform into energy, meaning we are returning back to zero. We are sitting here in 5 minutes, 3 minutes. You close your eyes, 5 minutes, lose all the sensation. And in a normal case, a normal person, if you sit here for half an hour or an hour, you are not able to lose all the sensation. If you sit from the morning to the night, you are not able to, even if you are closing your eyes. But now you are sitting to practice. 1, 2 minutes or 5 minutes, you lose all sensation. That is how I want to share with you. And in the future, when you sit like this, you want to go to location A with a disaster, for example. You sit here, you want to go to location A, you close your eyes. You practice. Your body and soul, you go to the location A for 2-3 hours and you return back, regain back your sensation. And I want to share with you, when you practice for the body and soul travel out of space, any of the noises, you are not distracted. That is one of the special signs. Any form of noise, because you are not here. You are traveling to the place that you want to help. So that would mark a success, that your body and your soul can travel out to space or can go to these locations. That is the location of the disaster as you come there to help in your soul and your body, and you are controlling and helping these people to overcome these problems. Now it is time for Holland.
Dzień dobry mistrzu, chciałabym Ci zadać pytanie.
Hello master, I would like to ask you a question. Okay. But first, I would like to thank you that I can be here, because in the last moment we had to take children with us, because my mother that was about to take care of our children became very ill. I would like to ask you a short question about the brain. The psychologists, the scientists think that there is only a 10% maximum that is working, but the rest of the brain is not active. But depends on what behavior we are doing, the different part of the brain is working. So our brain is working as a whole, but not in the same time. So it depends what we are doing. The different parts of the brain are working. My question is that the people who are ill of the schizophrenia or depression, for example, or are living in a very high stress, tension, and were going under research by the scientists, and in this research, as you can see, the hyperactive of the brain. So these people have more parts of the brain acting and working in the same time. So you say that in the future, more part of the brains will be working together, but now we are not prepared for that yet. So how you explain me that people who are ill for depression or schizophrenia or have a lot of stress, tension, the more parts of the brain of these people are working. So let's say the healthy people have the less parts of the brain working the same time, and the ill people have more parts of the brain working. So this is hyperactive. The scientists call it hyperactive of the brain. Okay. Okay, that's all. Thank you very much, Master, for everything. And I would like to add from my side as a translator, Polish translator Dominik, because that was my wife who asked the question that who can you pass to the Master the really great thanks for his help for me and for my family, because it was really difficult to come here in the very last moment, but thanks to help of the Master, we were able to come here as a whole family, and we would like to thank him a lot.
Okay. Now, through this question, I want to share with you. As you asked the question, I remember about 12 years ago, that was in December 1995 in Geneva, with more than 2,000 of you from 48 countries who came to Geneva to learn the level 5.1. The first one, I taught you to use the chakra 6 to transfer energy without any limit of the distance. The purpose is for you to stimulate the chakra 6, to stimulate the pineal and pituitary gland, to improve the immune system, to help you with the way to fight against all of the form of the virus and sickness. The scientists are researching. I understand about the fact that how come the brain of these who have mental stress, as they do it, they are the hyperactive brain, they reach to a disorder state. That's why they have the problem. For us, it is so easy. The disorder state of the cell of the nerve, it is still limited. Now you have the infinite ability, so you don't have to worry about the local older brain. 14 billion nerve in the brain you are able to control. If you know how to use to help to establish the equilibrium in the brain, then you are able to excel in any aspect with full knowledge. With any form of sickness, you are able to solve. This is a class for you to do it. For that reason, you will be very busy. In the past, perhaps you don't, you are not, you are lazy. You don't want to treat. Sometimes after you treat for a while, you don't see any result, and you will feel discouraged. Now, any form of sickness, you can treat, and you can see it. You can heal them in a short time. That's why you will be very busy. Besides that, there are other aspects. It's not that you learn and you go home just for healing alone. So you listen carefully on that part. That is through the presentation of the research of the scientists about our brain. That for the past 4 decades, the scientists have researched. In fact, the brain of the reptilian and the mammal that influence us, from a medical perspective, I do not have any comments. But in the research of the spiritual development, as a deities have revealed to me, our brain is blocked from the wisdom and enlightenment. God had tested many of the human races prior than this human race. We could not change the environment. We continue to have selfishness. We continue to have power struggle to cause chaos all over the world. The deities do not want to create chaos. They want the people to have peace and prosperity. But in the recent 20 centuries, in the recent 3 decades, and from the 17th down to the 20th century, there's so many chaos. It is to reach the end, at the final stage, at the end of the 21st century. We only have 2 more years. That will be the end of the first decade of the 21st century. Everything will be peaceful. In a positive way, to have peace, prosperity, healthy, to live long, in order to contribute to help mankind. That I want to share with you. I only have 1%. That 1%, that it doesn't mean that I want it or I hope for it. But when it comes, that we can solve. That is the case of nuclear radiation, the toxic, the powerful virus that can cause sickness and influence us, but we can clear it, and supposedly we are not sick or influenced, and we still retain our health. Then we will live very long. People die by chemicals or nuclear radiation, by the virus, by radiation. If this substance can help us to live long, then there's no way to die. All of this toxic that could kill people, but for us, we're not dying, but we can improve our immune strength, then you cannot get sick. Because these are the deadly one. If you are able to overcome it, you don't get sick, and you're not dead, then how can you die? It is so difficult to die. Except in the case of accident, and accident, the detail prepare everything, they lend both hands to save you already. It doesn't mean that I say for you to increase your faith, to learn. It's not for me. It is not for yourself. It is not for your family or your country, but for the whole human kind in the future. They are the children and grandchildren. We are learning for them. And then they continue to follow us. It doesn't mean that I teach you and I tell you to learn and that you can live long for pleasure. No. If we think that we live long for pleasure, then for sure this will not come to you. That is how I share with you through the presentation of the student in Poland. Next question.
Muito obrigada pela possibilidade de estarmos aqui todos a aprender.
Thank you very much. This is a question from Portugal. Thank you very much for us for being here and for all the teachings we have been receiving from you. Thank you very much. On the document that Master sent us, Master speaks about the non-ego. I would like that Master explains better the concept of non-ego and how to achieve that situation of non-ego. How to overcome that all the confusion and parallel conversations and energy that come to our mind. Another question. In many countries that participated in the last World War, there are monuments to the deaths of the dead people, not only soldiers but also civilians. My question is if we can merge with those monuments, and if the intention can be to make the souls go to the light, to the Yuings. And I want also to ask a question about the garlic water. We have water that is done with the technique of level 19. Can we go on and use that water, or must we do another, on the same water, the same technique of level 20? Or must we do completely new garlic water? What shall we do with it? Thank you very much, Master.
Now, in the level 19 to clear the ego is so difficult. Now in the level 20, it's not that I'm hoping, but you will be able to achieve. Slowly, as I share with you, in the past, from the level 19 to the past, in your life you link to everything that you learn up to the level 19. All of the emotional, anger, good, bad, right, wrong, hatred, grudges, you can clear easily. In the past you could, but it takes a long time. But now, we can shorten the time to erase all of these that are not necessary, so you can forget. It is best that in the past I tell you 5 minutes to close your eyes, to meditate, to pray, and then you transfer energy here and there. Now all you need is to merge. You pray the Soul Master Dang to merge with you 3 times, and you can merge to anywhere, any people that you wish. Anyone, anywhere you wish to merge If you do that, you can clear your ego, the new soul. That is what it wants to do. It doesn't waste your time. As you are doing your work, you can still merge to the soul master dang, and you merge to anywhere, any location, you can do it. The castle, the statue, any of these locations, you can do it. In the country, in the world, you can see many of the castles or some of these monuments for these soldiers, unknown soldiers for the past 20 or the 19th or 20th century of 5-10 centuries until now, or the highest 20 centuries until now. For these beings, it's so easy. For them, within the 2,000 years, it's so easy. The people who lived during the time of Christ, or during the time of Buddha, 25 centuries, they are so easy. Perhaps they're all returned to the deities already, or they evolve to become the human already. The most difficult one are the unknown soldiers that were around for in many time to help mankind with enlightenment and to help mankind with peace. Those are the hard ones. They have the power. Now you're in level 20. That yesterday I had reminded you already. I don't want to say that these beings, they're higher than Buddha or Christ or higher than Muhammad, but in their journey, they've been around for millions of years. They have the highest ability. They are able to travel to space with the body and the soul easily. But they only have one point that they make a mistake, the power struggle, and they cause problem to others. That's why they fail. Therefore, I want to advise for you, we will have the power in the dark so that we can help the light with the problem. Because we are standing in the dark, we can see the light, we see the problem where it is, then you can update and help so that they can succeed. Just like when you transfer energy to help a patient with a mental problem, as their nerve in the brain has been in a disordered state, when we merge to help to stabilize the nerve, then the problem will be solved. In the same way in society, in human world, that is how I share with you. In the future, if you are lazy, then if you are really lazy, then all of the negative thought that come into your body, then you pray to my soul. You only think of the soul master dang to merge with you. The soul master dang will erase for you. More or less, tradition, culture, family, society, all the people around you who influence you, cause us to have emotional like love, hate, discourage, or sometimes you feel despair. I have gone through all of that already. As you're sitting there and you keep on thinking of this, just like the life of Master Dang, sometimes I mentioned to you. In fact, I keep on joking with you in Australia right here. The life of Master Dang, I do not have the innocent time. My innocent age is from the year when I'm 65, because I live to 130 years. I still have 65 more years. Sometimes people who, now if I die young, that would be 130, or maybe a long span that would be 360 years. I don't have the childhood time now. At the year of 65, I'm still very young, because as you can see, you keep on talking about the past. In the past, you are suffering, but I'm always glad to share with you. That is my good story. All of you in the world, I don't know about you, but for me, I said that I'm poor, I'm suffering. I was really poor and suffering. I don't have enough to eat or to wear. You keep on thinking in the past you don't have enough to eat, to wear. But in my nature, I'm always happy to share with you. Even if right now, 50 years ago, 50 years later, I'm still the same. All of my family members, the neighbors in the past, When now they see me, they just call me with my name. I don't tell them to call me as a master, this or that. Whatever they call me, now they still call me in the same way. In that way, it is more appropriate to the neighbors, to the people in the village where I live. That 50 years ago I lived, and 50 years later it's still the same. So the people in my village, they address me in the same way, especially those who are powerful. My boss in the past, now they see me, they are afraid. But to me, it's not like that. To me, in the past, they were my boss, now they are equal to me. Just like my friend. I never say that you are my student. As you see, many of the people who are influential when they work with me, their rank is much higher than me. But now they are my student. But I still see them as my friend. Everywhere I just say, these are my friend. Sometimes they know that it is my student, but I keep on introducing as my friend. I never said that this my man in the past, like this, now he's my student. Whatever he said is up to him. But I understand for many of these who have the high ranking in the past. In the past, I'm the boss of Master Dang, but now the student of Master Dang. And these are some of the people who are influential. For me, that is, there's no purpose. That is the way that they show the respect to me in the present time. In the past, they helped me. They were my boss. So through that, I want to share with you, through this means, to remind you, the past you need to remember, whether it is suffering, you still feel happy. You're happy to share. That is a good story that you share to others, as that they hear you. But as you are glad to tell this story, then you feel more happy. And as you feel more happy, you have the immune strength. If you keep on thinking and complaining in the past, you are suffering and you feel self-pity. Why should you do it? If in the past you suffer, so now you should not remind it. To remind it as a way to create a light of joy, then you do it. I said that in the past I have the problem being poor and suffering, and I'm always glad to share with you. Some people said that, my God, Master Dang, he's illiterate. I said, correct. At that time I was poor. I don't have enough to eat, to wear. How can I go to school? But the important part is, are you working hard to learn, to progress? Do you want to develop on the path to help people? If you keep on self-pity and thinking the past you're suffering, and suddenly you're shrinking down, so why should you do it? Instead of growing up to 1.4 meter, and then you keep on frowning, and then your size is shrinking down to 1.2 meter, and then keep on shrinking, and then 1.1 meter, and you keep on frowning, and you keep on losing weight and getting skinny. There's no purpose. So with everything, that when you feel discouraged, you have to do it just like Master Dang. All of the bad experience that you had in the past, when you share it, and you are glad to do it, to bring the joy to you, to others. You know why? I ask you why I keep on telling about my life. From the lowest and illiterate person, why do I tell you this? Do you know my intention in telling this story? That is, in human world, nobody is happy. I show with you the worst case, so that you can see that the life of Master Dang is like that. For sure, your situation is much better than Master Dang. That is the point I want to teach you. I dare to say the truth. When I'm poor, when I'm illiterate, then I say it to you. There's nothing to hide it. Even if when they are poor, they have to go rob. There's no shame in that. Now you don't have money that you steal from others. When you have the money that you repay to them, nobody knows. Now let's say you don't have the money. So for me, I tell you the truth. It's not that I'm good. But many of these robbers or the thief, I love them. If I have the power, I do not arrest them. Do you know why they have to rob? Because they were so poor. And you have enough to eat, and you have enough to wear. You can pour them away, so that's why they have to rob. I tell you, the poor who also rob, And so also the rich people also like to steal. I have many people who are influential go to a restaurant and said, this is a beautiful spoon, and they put it in his pocket in the restaurant. This spoon, and then he said he just put that in his pocket. There's another spoon, and when they take the bill, and that missing spoon, it is $15. Outside it's only $5, and he didn't buy. Now he put it in his pocket, so he had to pay. That is a beautiful spoon, because you don't see it outside in the restaurant. They have the spoon, and they see that you steal the spoon, but they only include it in the bill. That is one of the real story. Some of these rich people, my God, I tell you so that you can learn. So whether you are poor or you're rich, you can learn. My God, many rich people, they are so stingy. I have seen very clear. At that time, I was still very young. I see that lady, very rich lady, and she's beautiful, and she went to another house, and she steal the underwear of another lady, and that person is still alive. And now it's more than 60 now. My God, I came to the house, because I always pay attention. I saw that the underwear, the lady underwear, and she steal it. I see the people who steal the spoon, and not the lady who steal the woman underwear. Right in front of me, I saw them. If it's not, that is a lesson for you. Do not think that it's not that they don't have, but they see it so beautiful that they steal. When they bring it home, you know why? They brought out to the store to look for the same thing and to buy. They do not have the way. Some of the Vietnamese, some of them, they are rich, and when they see something good, they have so many underwear, so they have to steal the underwear to go to the store to show. They do not want to wear the same underwear. They do not want to wear the same underwear because of the problem underneath. I'm afraid that they may be possessed when they wear this underwear. That is the purpose, to help you the means. They said that Master Dang is like that, so now we have to try to stabilize your mind to do the merits to help people. Then for sure the deity will reward. In the past, I always teach you, as you serve in the human world pay you according to the hour, the day of your work. But you work for the deities, God will pay you 1,000 times more. All the students, as you will do it, just like what I said, that you are able to achieve like that. That is the purpose I want to share with you through the presence about my life, as a lesson for you to learn, so you are able to progress and do not feel discouraged or feel sad. You should continue on your journey. When you can see the past, that in the past did you feel discouraged, but then you think about it and to create the light of joy for you, then you should remember. Otherwise, you just should erase it. Each time I teach you, I tell you the life of Master Dang. I never, from the time I was so poor and suffering, but I'm always glad. And I thank my parents. I tell you the truth. I see many of you, you blame your parents. How come they had money? They did not take care of you so you can go to school. But even when you go to learn whether you can be successful or not, so never blame your ancestor or your parents. When they had money, at that time they had money, the time is not right for them to give you to have an education. I just share with you my life stories. I'm glad. I never blame my family. We were so poor. We were all poor at that time. How can we have clothing? But I'm glad to share with you my story in public as well as in a small group. I'm also glad to share with you my story about my life. You do it like me with the condition to bring the light of joy for you and others. Then in anywhere you can share. but never bring the sadness to other people, that include yourself, then you should not do this. And then you should erase it. This time, I never let you feel sad, because I know the new soul that come to you is the soul that always brings the light of joy to you. That is how I share with you in general. And now, if you already made the garlic water in the level 19, after you drink it all, and when you go to level 20, then you apply the technique like I mentioned about mixing the water, the warm water, to travel out to space. So all of the ingredients, when you mix, before you mix, you merge to each ingredient. And then after you mix everything, you put it into the container, and then you merge one more time. After 72 hours, you take out all of the garlic, and then you merge again, and you keep into the bottle, and you keep in the fridge so you can drink. So this garlic water is different comparing to the one in level 19. You drink and you know it. So now, if you make it in level 19 already, you can drink. If you want to make another one with the level 20 technique, you can drink the one that you make in the level 19. There's no problem with that. Next question.
Kính chào thầy, thầy có nghe tiếng con không ạ?
Dear Master, I would like to send my greeting to all the students in these three locations. My name is Thúy in France. I would like to ask you, when I meditate, to learn from the deities, I only receive the light of the aura. And during this class, I receive the light of the aura, and also with your teaching words, so that we can evolve. So I ask you to receive the message, to have the brilliant ideas. So between the two, is it one? In the case of the frequency of energy, that to warn me something that may happen. So now, do we have the condition to completely understand the message from this frequency of energy in order to serve or not? And there were many people, they will have to, because of their flight, they have to leave before the end of the seminar. So can we practice before the break time on the last day? Thank you, Master. To the question of this student, I also know this person each time when there's a class, this student always send the email to me, and then I answer to him. I remember this student, perhaps he's a mechanics. I remember he's a Vietnamese from Laos who live in France. That's why his Vietnamese, perhaps I remember clearly about you. So through your question, I share to this student as well as many of you, when you have a brilliant idea, that is indirectly you are receiving the messages. When you receive the message, that is directly from the deities. But when you have a brilliant idea, that is from the deities who help your soul, and then your soul can reveal it to your body. That is an indirect way to receive the messages. That is through the brilliant ideas. Listen carefully. Do not think that you have the experience or you can make these brilliant ideas. No, you don't. If your soul is not capable, without any ability, then for sure it cannot help your body with many brilliant ideas like this. The most important part, if you have the mission, the more mission you have, the more brilliant ideas you have in order to help mankind. That is how I share with you my experience for all of you in general, as well as this student from Paris. And now, as you know, In fact, today is almost it's the 4th day of the class. The light of God's aura, who's from? From the universe. The aura, who is it from? Our concept in the 5th human race, we think it is the aura from the high being, and the high being, they are all humans in the human form in the previous time, in the previous era. However, I understand due to the faith of the people in the 5th human race, especially the people from the East, the Vietnamese in particular, as you know, after cremation, when we burn the body with 1,000 of degree, when they see it, they say that, and after the person had going through the religious life, and so his ash becomes just like the bone of Buddha. Today, I just explained for you. They buy a very expensive coffin, and after they burn, after they burn, and all the metal is melted, then they just look at it and they claim it is the bone of the bone of the Buddha. Many of these, some of this metal, as they have the coffin. So after they burn all of this ingredient, the ashes turn the color. They say this is the bone of the Buddha. Buddha, after his death, 25 centuries now, you know who's Buddha? He was Prince Siddhartha, the son of the king. And the king, after his death, he was cremated. So Prince Siddhartha, after he became the Buddha, there's no exception for him. They put on a boat and send it out to the river and burn the body. So the bone, the ashes of Buddha, they kept the graveside and say this is from the Buddha, but in fact the body was burned and sent out to sea. And then they said these are the ashes from the Buddha. He died 25 centuries, and now everywhere you see the bone of Buddha, including when I go to America, and have a box like this. They say this the ash of Buddha, and each of them cost $1. I went there to see the ash of Buddha, and they have each person $1. And this day, 10,000 people come to see the ash of Buddha. Suddenly, they have $10,000. So that is the faith of the Buddhists. When they see the ash of Buddha, they are curious. They want to see. I have a lot of this ash of Buddha. Many of these high monks, when they cannot bring it out to the country, and the country, the high officer in the country have to sign for them to take it out of the country, and they came and gave it to me. So their belief, and they gave it to me as, you know, the ash of Buddha. They gave me just like a piece of plastic. They kept on in a statue, and then they gave it to me, and then they worship. I also try to do it just to please the students, 25 centuries until now. And Buddha, his body was cremated already, and to burn the ashes, all the ashes are sent to the river, so we don't have any more of. I tell to all my family members to remember, after Master Dang died, you have to cremate the body very carefully until all the ashes find a river or a lake, and throw it all in the river, so nobody would sell the ashes of Master Dang. Otherwise, they use all of the bones of the ox and the pigs, and then they say that this is ash of Master Dang, but in fact the ash of Master Dang is gone. I know ahead of this, so I said, never do this. That is the truth. But because of the 5th human race, they have that faith. They believe in the guardian, they believe in these angels. That is a good thing as a mean for us to learn to progress. But the life of Buddha, I tell you the truth. Jesus, I do not know, but Buddha have taught me a lot. I want to share with you. With everything that I have presented to you, it is Buddha who revealed to me. He said I have to be to be clear, to clarify for the Buddhists, all of these Buddhists, all of the Buddhists and monks and nuns and monks, and there's some of them they go in many of them, the Buddhists, they go into the temple, they wear expensive jewelry, and they keep on try to fix their hair. But in fact, she tried to show the very big diamond because I'm sitting right behind her. They try to show Master Dang the big diamond. Master Dang, and to me, I see many cases like that. You know why? As a mean for me to teach, so I can teach you. When it's almost 11 o'clock, you're almost sleeping. I say it, so you're sleeping. I see many of you yawning in here. So I have many subjects as I teach you, let you practice, because I see many of you are nodding. Everything I say, you keep on saying yes, nodding, because you don't know it, because you are sleeping in the class. And I have a program. Each time when we have a large seminar, a big seminar, I want to have a number of you because of your job, and I understand for you, so for sure, on the last day, which is on Saturday, before we have the break, and you and me, we meditate, practice together. Why? So you have a chance. If you have to go back early because the later hours, I will summarize the lesson as you go through. And additionally, I have the program that I mentioned to bring the light of joy for you before you go back to serve people. That will include your family. I have some of the new songs and old songs I sing. In fact, I like to sing, but I like to sing only when there is a student. You know, even I want to sing, I cannot, because I'm so busy, I cannot sing. Others, people, they have the karaoke. I have the karaoke, meaning to sing with my mouth alone. I only sing a few words and I fall asleep. I do not watch TV. I don't have the TV or the karaoke system. I go to some people's house. I just sing. But when I'm most happy, when I sing to the student, sing by myself, I do not like it. You know why? Because I do not sing that good. Only when with the student I can sing good, because there's a lot of energy. When I'm not teaching, I sing, and when I sing, I hear it sounds so bad, worse than the worst singer. So I do not sing. So you can rest assured through the presentation of this person in Paris who come to Holland to learn. I will accept your request before the break. Then we can try to practice one more time to travel out of space, so you can rest assured on that request. I agree for to your request. So now, fourth question in Holland.
Get up. Yeah. Madam. Hello.
Thank you. Dear Matt, I have some questions about the technique. How many times can we merge with a place on the same day? It happens that sometimes I forget and I send again to the same country. And what is the new technique for energizing hui water for drinking or using food? And my second question is, I am wondering, could there be a reason why there are some countries that have only a few students in the higher levels? Like in the Scandinavian countries, Norway, where I am living, Denmark and Sweden. And perhaps there are other countries and other regions that do not have any students at all. And so I would like to know, how would this affect these areas in the future? Thank you very much.
Now you can rest assured. If in the morning you merge, in the afternoon you forgot, you didn't, and you merge again, there's no problem. But the effect, as you want to help that person, there's only one. Even if you want to help that region where you live, in a day you wish you can merge 3 or 4 times, but then the effect only one, not 3 or 4. There's no problem when you merge several times to a location. In the case of mixing the UE water in the past, you're mixing with salt and sugar, so you can receive the light of God's aura, but now you don't have to do that. Salt and sugar, you merge, after you merge to the salt and sugar, you pour into the water and you merge, and then you drink, and you can replace the normal drinking water. In the same case with the UE garlic water. In the past, you have to receive the light of God's aura and send 3 seconds and send 3 times or 9 times. So now it is one way. You can merge directly. Now, I let you practice in the future as they merge with you. They do not want you to receive the light of God's aura anymore because they know more than you. So, in the level 20, if in the future there is another, to see how you do it in the future, to see how this being merged with you. And perhaps in the next session of the level 20, if there is, listen carefully, then you do not need to receive the light of God's aura 2 seconds and send 3 seconds here or there, because I know I have prepared everything for you already. When they present to you, I prepare for you like this, then you know 2 as 1, 1 as 2. Those who were prepared to merge with your body, that they want to merge with the soul far away, soul from me, so that the soul of all this race combining with the soul from far away to combine as one to go, clear the first and the fourth human race to prepare for the fifth human race on earth, so that they have wisdom and enlightenment. That is the success of God. I can only explain to you like that. However, as I mentioned to you already, if you have the free time, and if anywhere they organize a class, if there is a place in level 19 on the 8th to the 12th of August in Europe, in Australia, it will be the 9th to the 13th of August, when I teach the level 19. That is for South America. That also includes a few countries in Europe, Portugal, in Germany, and in Spain. Perhaps these 3 countries, they would stay up late. They say all through the night to learn, because of the time zone between America and Europe. In South America, it is in the evening. In Europe, it will be through the night. On this, in the time of when I was master, one time in America and one time in Australia. In Australia, I teach from 11 p.m. to 9 o'clock in the morning, constantly for 7 days. For all of you in South America, I still remember. And in America, I taught to Europe through the night for 7 days. I have stay awake all through the night to teach you, but now the student understand from me, so instead of I stay awake, the student volunteer to stay awake to learn the high levels, so they agree to learn through the night. That is how I share with you. If you have the time, if the organizer they have the place, then you can come to audit. For sure, in this level 19, I would share with you a part of the topics of the level 20 to prepare for a number of you in the level 19, so you can understand partially about the technique as I teach in level 20, so you can prepare. Then when I organize a class, you are ready to learn and receive easily. That is how I share with you in general. And regarding to the other countries, on the first day I mentioned to you, in China with 1.3 billion people, perhaps less or more, but we calculate about 1.3 billion. There is not even 1% with the chakra open 100%. If there is, perhaps they are the one from Hong Kong who come there to open chakra for their family members. They do not organize just like us, like in the place with the centers. In India, with a large population, there is a IWI center. In China, there is no centers except in Taiwan and Hong Kong. In Taiwan, they have some of the centers. Hong Kong, they have one center to help the Chinese who live in Hong Kong or to live in China. Because before the year 1997, Hong Kong had been given back to China, and I've been there to help a number of the Chinese who live in Hong Kong and Taiwan. So due to the fate and destiny of these people, but for the case of the catastrophe or effect from the tsunami, however it is, I don't have any comments. However, in any situation, whether you are close or far, if you have a chance, you are able to help. That is my opinion. And why they don't learn and why is this and that, I don't have any comments. One more thing I want to confirm with you. In the last IWI family, I have the mission to protect all of you within my ability. I will help the last IWI family within my capacity. For others, I cannot promise. However, I would have ready to help if it is by destiny. I say it very precise for you. Now in Thailand, you can ask 3 questions in Thailand. Thank you, Master, for allowing me to learn the level 20. I would like to send the regard from the people in Ubon on the 28th at 3 p.m. The flight will be going back to Ubon because of that location. Through their request to let the people in Ubon to return home early, they will be leaving at 3 p.m. So that is from the people from Ubon. They have to leave early at 3. That is the request. I would like to, as I have a thought that most of the students from far away who come to Thailand to learn, we feel unfortunate that we are not able to be in Australia to be close to you. We thought that we feel a little sad and lonely because we're not close to you. Because sometimes the children are close to you, you love more than the children far away. Is it right? I would like to ask 3 questions on the first part. When we help the souls, how do we know that these souls are evolved higher? When these high souls, how do we know the color of these higher souls? And the lower soul, how do we know the color of these lower souls? That is the first question. The second one, dear Master, as you mentioned, in 1,541 of us in this level 20, then we would completely change a new soul. Then these new souls, as you mentioned, that we receive this new soul and it will be permanent, it will never change to another soul. So how come we cannot change another soul? And we have to keep this new soul until our death. So that is my second question. And my third question, if I'm not mistaken, that in the level 17, you let us learn in San Jose, California. At that time, I had asked you to let us see your feet with the sign. I don't know whether it's red or black, how it is, but on your feet, it will reveal as a seal on your feet. Then perhaps that person with the sign on the feet, perhaps that will be like a king, as you had promised to us a long time. Hopefully in the level 20, there will be a chance that you would show me and all of us. Can you reveal to us so we can see your feet, to see the seal on your feet, so we can feel happy. That is what we would like to see just a little bit. Can you show us your feet so we can see your feet? Now for you, more or less you learn the main part about the technique of merging and transfer energy. So tomorrow you will have the basic document to practice. However, if because of some situation that I will help you on the first hour, that is over here, it's 3:30 with 12:30 in Thailand for sure. In Thailand, that would be 12 noon. In Europe, it will be 7 in the morning. So you learn for 1 hour. After 1 hour, and you and me, we all practice. The time long or short, we do not know. And after we practice to merge, then you summarize everything, all of the notes, everything that you need for my answer. I will answer for you, or I will review all of the topics. Then that will be the end. And then later on, we will reserve some of the time, and I sing for you. And for those who need to leave early, then for sure you practice with me one more time. That is on the last day, after you learn for 1 hour. So that is for those of you to practice, so you are able to learn to merge, to travel out of space easier, without losing the moment that you can practice together with me to travel to space. So I agree to the request of these people from Ubon to come to Bangkok to learn. That is on the first part. I answered to the question from Mr. Chi, who asking for Miss Hương and Mrs. Phùng. Now, as you asked, now in level 20, you ask like this, I feel a little sad. You know why? Level 3, you open the chakra 100%. You had helped all of the soul from the lower to high, from the lower to the high soul already. These are the wandering souls. All of the angel ancestors who die, they have the ability to help us. These are the ones from the chakra 3 up to chakra 5. All of the high being from the chakra 5, chakra 6, chakra 7. And eventually, through this question, I also thank Mr. Chi, who reminded me so I can remind you. After you complete the level 20, the soul that merged with you, all of the lower level who talk to you, they thought that your soul is the soul of God. In fact, you are not. All of the students from the level 19 down, when they talk to you, they will feel your presence in the level of the chakra 7. I don't want to say that this soul from the first to the fourth human race are equal to God, but they have the ability, equal ability, to return back to God easily, because this being, they have wisdom, enlightenment already. They have only a little bit that the deities ask this soul to merge with you and all of us to help us with wisdom and enlightenment, just like this soul who are now about to enter to you. So listen carefully. Now you know whether they are high or long or low. To the question from Mr. Chi, that I help you, so that those who are in the lower levels, they will be surprised. But you answered, this is not God, but these are people who have wisdom and enlightenment just like God, but they are stuck on one point, that they have to help the fifth human race to have wisdom and enlightenment, and they return back to God as one. So you listen carefully. I explain for you clearly, so you do not confuse, or you think that you do not know. You need to know this. And I remind you for the last time, your body, I do not want to say how long you will live. I do not have any comments. But there are 4 factors that Buddha had left behind when he returned back to the deities: birth, old age, sickness, and death. But the sickness here that causes suffering, the suffering here is for the people who are behind after death. If we can solve the third issue, birth, old age, without sickness, then we would not have death, because you don't get sick, then you know death. Even after death, you have sickness, and you die. Without sickness, you cannot die. If the deities allow us to solve the issue of sickness, and we have the strong immune strength in the pure air, with the food source clean, without any influence on our health, and our body with the high immune strength nurtured by universal energy, then your lifespan, you will live very long to serve mankind. Never think that you have the merit, as you do a lot to help a lot of people, and you thought that with your lifespan to lead a life of pleasure, then you would not be able to succeed. The part that you help people, then you have the infinite ability. I keep on reminding this. This is not the first time, but in many of the levels, from the lower to the high levels, including the level 20, I want to remind you, so you can understand that we live to serve mankind, then we'll have infinite ability to live. Now, you don't have the right to change. As I come here, that you kneel down and you pray to thank God. 6 billion people. How many people that are like us? Because they had volunteered to come to merge with you. It's not that you wish that you can. They are guiding our body to have wisdom and enlightenment to serve mankind. And this being, they want to. So that they can carry out everything that they could not achieve about millions of years ago on earth. Since the first group of people who had been on earth, that is God who created all of these humans. That is how I share with you and remind through the question from this student, Mr. Chi from San Jose, who come to Thailand to learn. So now, if you look, I have my socks. If I wear my sock, if I bring it up, you cannot smell it. But and I don't wash my feet. You see, it's not like any coat. I have the real coat. You don't have to see this coat all the time. I don't know why you want to see look at my feet. I don't know why. My God! Now you can see that I'm sitting up here. If I do it, so I have to pull my pants, and you see my feet. My feet is black, but my leg is white. So I would not let you see it. My God, more or less we will see each other. Some people who want to come here to see my feet because I hide. That's why I do not wear a slipper. I have to wear the shoes and with the socks. Sometimes they say that my feet, some of the people who work with a nail try to ask to cut my nail, so you don't. There's nothing to look at. But I see one of the strange thing, because I do not know Chinese, but my feet, it was just like one of the Chinese words, just like my name Luong Minh ĐÁNG, the word Minh, there is the yin and the yang. I do not know how it is in the Chinese. That combine the moon, the mix the word the moon and the sun to make the word the letter Minh. So those who have the name Minh, and then you look at we like my family, do not worry about watching my foot. Just look at your arm, look at your palm as a fortune teller. See if they come or not, and now you're ready to greet them. Otherwise, you at home you cook the soup to welcome them. So for you, I will see you when I go to America. I might see you, and for those of you, I will go back to America for sure. Now I tell you, 3 years I did not return to America. It's not that I could not, because I do not want to. There's no problem for me. Do not think that I'm hiding. There's nothing for me to hide. Why should I hide? Just like in Vietnam, I prepared the luggage. I did not go to before I go to the airport. I was stopped. I could not. They did not let me. Meaning the people from heaven. Do not think that somebody else blocked me. You multiply it out. Think that these people, that people, when I go home, this and that happened. But in fact, I was busy. So you can get ready. I'm ready to go back to America. If you want to greet me, you go to San Francisco or go to Los Angeles. I prepare after the level 19 in South America. I will come back to America. Then you have a chance to find the 5-star hotel. I come in and take a shower, clean, and now let you, each of you, to go and see my feet. So now, next question. This man is from America. He followed me for 17, 18 years. He learned for a long time. If you have to remember, the one who is closest to me, the student closest to me, Teresa, he want to see, but she is not busy. The moment she want to see it, she forget. And sometimes she forgot. She said she doesn't want to see my feet. She'd like to see something else, not the feet. Oh my God. There's nothing to see in the feet. Oh my God. These people are so strange. When I go to America, I go to the hotel. What hotel is that? The Hyatt Hotel. Hyatt. And then Mr. Long had a special room for me in a 5-star hotel, that large meeting room. Then you can bring the video camera or the camera outlet you have. At the time, you can take photograph of the fake feet. At that time, I take away the real feet. I show you the fake feet. So in Europe and in Thailand, in Australia, right here, it's late, so people are laughing, and they're laughing and they stay awake so they can learn. So now the next question. Dear Master and Lady Teresa, I'm from Hanoi. I would like to send my greeting to all of the UE students all over the world. I would like to thank General Kasem and the center in Thailand that sincerely take care of us during this class. I have 2 questions. We lost the voice.
We lost audio.
After the level 19, I do not have any of those sensations anymore, because each time when I do the 10 breath, I was sleeping. And my soul seemed like I enter another world, but in my conscious mind, I always imagine your picture, your image, and always listen to your lecture. And I remember your words, just like in my journey, whenever I find a problem or sadness or happiness, whenever I have doubt, it seems like I hear your voice to remind me to accept everything. And from then, I had accept everything that God had given to me in this life. As you had taught, God had created everything, but if we know how to accept everything, then we have everything. Just as you had accepted the suffering in order to help to reduce the suffering for the humankind, so with that acceptance, and that helped me to live in peace, and my mind will be enlightened. So, dear Master, to follow the spiritual path, we need to be patient. But the more we follow, we feel that it's so difficult to practice patience. As you teach us so simple to learn to accept, it's so simple. So, can you explain for me the meaning of patience and acceptance? What is the difference on the path of spiritual growth? Secondly, I would like to explain about the meaning of the picture that we had revealed to you on your birthday in January. Because in this class, I had given your statue with the aura, but I did not know the English. I could explain to the students here in the class. I would like to explain from the time when I graduate, the class of the brain, of primordial brain, everything in my life seemed like there is a plan that God had already designed. As you taught to leave everything, do not have greed, but when we don't have the desire, then everything may come. So there's an event that happened to me in December 2006 when you are about to organize the seminar in Australia. At that time, in fact, I do not dare to think that I'll have a chance to come to level 19 in Australia with you. And one time when I practiced, when I was in sleep, I saw that I could come to your house at the altar of mankind ancestor. I saw the picture of you in a meditated posture, and inside we saw a child. And after that dream, I talked to Mr. Thang in our group. When we go to Australia, I would like to make your statue and make it in such a short time. And during that time, that was 8 p.m. On the first of the Lunar New Year. That is when we started to make the statue. We all pray. And then on the 25th of January, on the 25th of December, we finished it at 12 noon. And we asked you to transfer energy, and we plan to bring it to Australia. And at that moment, when you said that your soul is the soul from God, from other planets, who come down to Earth, to come into your body to help mankind, and also unintentionally one of the students in the level 19 had taken a photograph with the aura, just like the bronze drum logo that cover the statue. Dear Master, could it be at that time God had been present to answer the doubts about who you are, and the image of the logo bronze drum in the vision? What is the significance of that to this class, this level? Can you explain about this phenomenon, about these visions? This is a photograph. And this is the image of the photograph of these image of the logos. I would like to represent all the students in Vietnam to ask us to give us a blessing that tomorrow is the 27th of 7. That is a Memorial Day for these soldiers, for all of those unknown soldiers who sacrificed for the country during the revolution. In this class, that would be on the 27th of July. So I would like to ask you and all of the students in the level 20 to merge, to help all of this soul of these unknown soldiers to be liberated. Thank you, Master. So the question from this student in Vietnam who come to Thailand, and these Vietnamese who did not have a chance to present clearly about the process that they make the statue when they brought from Vietnam to Australia to give me in the beginning of the year. I want to share with you in general and to clarify for this student who share this story. As you know, at the present time, we don't know for what reason. Perhaps the deities want to prove the presence on earth to help mankind. Therefore, that a number of you that from the Vietnam who came to meditate out in the ocean and take a photograph out in space, they saw some of the logo. That never happened, but it did. That is out in space. And the case that when I teach at level 19 in 2007 in Australia, my student, this couple who make the statue, when they took the photograph and they saw some of the aura that she had shown for you to see. One of another situation at the time when I organized at level 20 for the first time, the technician Donas, he had taken the photograph on television that we have seen for the past few days. I thought that that is the logo, or that is like a brain, but it's not. As you see, the photograph that Donas has taken on the first day for the first time, and on the second time you don't see it anymore. So you can see this is not like the bronze drum. This is not a brain. But for the past few days, after I visualize, I see that's the circle right above my head, as you can see clearly, and I explain further for you. You are prepared to receive the souls of those with wisdom and enlightenment to come to the large Iwi family. These are the ones who come to the level 20 student in these three locations, Australia, Thailand, and Holland. All of this image, that is all of the high, to symbolize the high soul with the wisdom and enlightenment that come to the large Iwi family in this level 20. It is not that visualize like the brain or the logo, but it symbolize the souls of the human race in the past. Now they come to the large Iwi family to merge to all of you. That is one of the strange thing that you have seen. I want to present to you a few of these characteristics For the first time, Donas took a photograph and he continued to take the several more shots, but only that one shot. And the first shot that you can see in the image that Donas had shown to you on the screen that you can see. That is one of the strange phenomenon that after they developed the picture and to see, we will see as a vision, the image like this. I cannot explain for you about more about this image. In the level 19, I would explain further for you about this photograph that Donas had taken in the beginning of the level 20. Now, as you know, a step at a time, do the thing that you practice, and you do the inhale and exhale, and you try to practice out of space, travel out of space, and you fall asleep. When you go to sleep, it is difficult when you practice. The practice and the sleeping is different. You have to remember this. If you want to go to sleep and then you, without practicing, your mind starts thinking, you are not able to fall asleep. But when you are about to practice, you pray, and when you close your eye to practice, you lose all sensation of your body. Then you have transformed into energy very quick to travel out of space to learn. I've been repeating many times for you on that. When you regain back the sensation, then you are coming back to Earth where we live. That is how I update for you, because I have explained many times in the previous seminars from the level 16 and higher. Now, patience, meaning that you not be so anxious. You would accept to lose today, but tomorrow you may win. Whatever belongs to you, then you would win. If not, then you would lose. You do not know. Tomorrow you may be, you may lose or you may win. That is how you accept everything that comes to you. Then how come it doesn't come to A or B, but it comes to you? How come it doesn't come earlier or later, but at this right moment? That you want to hold it, you cannot. If you don't want to hold it, you could not. So in summary, if you know that universal energy that represent in a scientific means to symbolize universal energy, but from the spiritual aspect, there are so many guardians. These are those deities who are close to the deities. These are the unknown soldiers with the highest ability. They represent the deities through our action on earth, good, bad, right, wrong. From now to the past, you don't have to worry whether they have or they don't have, because they take care for you. When the soul of these being in the previous era or the previous human races, when they come to you, then you don't have anyone to protect you except those who are capable, just like those who merge with you. They are able to help your body. And through this question, I want to remind all of you from now to the future, you cannot do or worry. With everything that you try to worry, they erase. Even with everything that you do not worry, they remind you. So you worry so you can do it. Listen carefully. If you want to worry for the unnecessary thing, you cannot. But if you do not worry, but they let you worry, that is because it is needed so you can help others. So these unknown soldiers, they have different ranks. From those who have more ability to those who have less ability. When they merge with all of us, then those who are the successor, they always follow them in order to help us. These are the one at the in the monument of unknown soldier in Australia and in Europe, wherever they have this. You don't have to worry about that. That is how you accept. Whatever comes to you 5 minutes, several hours, after that time, who knows, they would never be there anymore, or they continue to be there with you and you live longer, so you cannot tell, so don't worry about this factor. That is how you express the patience, accept and patience. Now, in 1 hour 60 minutes, and in the past, I don't know how they calculate, but now in 60 minutes, it's in 1 hour. So patience, that is how. Do not be so anxious. As you are so anxious, try to rush, and you fail. In patience, you may succeed. I don't want to explain in a lower level. I explain, but in high level, I don't. Like the fruit tree, if it's ripe, then it tastes good. Too young, it doesn't taste good, or too ripe, it tastes bad. Same the banana, it may taste good with the right moment. If you keep it and dry the banana, it doesn't taste that good. So when it is ripe and you eat it, then it tastes good. There is a simple explanation on that. So you have to be patient. Do not be so anxious. Now let's say you are anxious. 8 o'clock the aircraft will take off. The one who are very anxious, that is Master Dang. Let's say 8 o'clock flight and 6 o'clock I'm at the airport. But then there's a 2-hour delay. Then I stay out in the airport for 4 hours. I'm still happy. In that way, you don't feel tired. If you see that 8 o'clock and now it is 8:05, but now they already delayed until another 2 hours, because you cannot rush. When there's some problem with the aircraft, then they have to wait. Otherwise, you would die, others will die. So you don't even see this factor. Why should you want to rush? Whether you are anxious or not, you are still waiting for the aircraft. So instead of, let's say that in 2 hours there's a delay, it's best for you. You know why? Because you can close your eyes to practice to travel out of space, and you leave before the airplane. When the airplane is fixed, they go with you. This is the best. So you always try to think and bring the light of joy for you, because if you feel sadness, it's not beneficial. When you feel sad, you are harming the immune system, and as you do so, you look much older. If you want to look beautiful, do not feel sad, angry, or discouraged. That's how you can retain your young. And also mixing with the hot water to practice, that is the best way. And really practice. It's not that you mix the warm water to sit in there. Just like when you go to the bathtub, if you do like that, then you may have a cold. That is how I explain for you. In the case about patience and acceptance, it's so simple. And this one is right. My teaching is very simple. That is only in the theory, but in the practice it's so difficult. For that reason, the difficulty in the practice I explained to you in many levels, transfer energy in many levels until now today. You can find the truth. The truth here is not for us. The truth here is to help other people. Everybody want the books from the past until now. That the fifth human race that you reach the truth, that you have everything. But the truth is for everyone. We find the truth for others because we are serving others to have wisdom, enlightenment, just like us. That is the truth in the humankind, not for your personal self. You see, I changed the subject from the past until now in the human world. They think that in the fifth human race, thinking that we find the truth, that we can achieve this or that. God doesn't need to tell you you don't need this. You reach the truth, then the humankind will have less suffering. You help the humankind to develop on a spiritual path, to help the soul of all of the living creature to evolve. That is the truth. You have the truth already, but you're not aware of it. When you are in the level 3 with the chakra open 100%, you achieve the truth, and you have so many souls to return to the light. In level 7, you have so many more souls to the light. You have reached the truth. You have the truth in order to serve the living as well as the dead. And you have been and you continue to have the truth from low to high, to the lowest to the highest. Now you have the peak at the peak of the truth. If you do not have the peak of the truth, then how can you merge to the living? How can you merge to the dead? And how can you merge to all the living creatures? And you are merging effectively. It's not that it is not. It doesn't mean I'm just saying it or I'm being superstitious. I'm teaching you the truth, and you apply, you see the result. And this is the result of the truth in order to serve mankind. It's not that the truth is for our own pleasure. If it is just for our pleasure, it is selfish. And in selfish, you cannot do it. Buddha, Christ, or the high being, with the truth is to serve people. It doesn't mean that you reach the truth, that you have everything and knowledge everything. It is wrong. You may have the truth is to serve mankind. To have the truth to serve others, to evolve. That would be the meaning. I am changing the content of the books in the past until now. And you use this concept in the future. You talk to them. Then even if they say that you're not, you don't have the wisdom, and you will have the wisdom. For the first time, the deity revealed to me, and I share with you the concept about the truth. In the future, the truth, the books that write about the truth, perhaps we use these means so that we can find the real truth. What is the purpose of the real truth? This is the absolute truth. The truth of the absolute truth. The truth without the absolute truth, you think it is yours. You think that you can do it. You are wrong. God doesn't need this. Up there, they're so sad. There's nothing to play. Over here, down here, there's many things to play. Up there, there's nothing. You cannot even touch or sense it. Now you have the wine, the meat. You have all of the bad habits. You have everything. Even though you have a quarrel, it is better than sitting up there. You sit and doing nothing. You look back and forth. There's nothing. And you are high. There's others who are higher. So as you are high, you could not reach, and you don't want to look down. So you can sit there doing nothing, and slowly, and you disappear just like the cloud, and you disappear. That is a lesson 34 years ago. The deities revealed to me. And down here, sadness, hatred, but at least you have someone you can talk to. But up there, there's nobody, and it's so sad up there, except the cold, warm climate. And down here, you can do anything you want. You can go fishing if you want to. You can go up there, there's nothing, only the wind and the cloud. That's all. Down here, you can go fishing, even try to, or not to go fishing, but in fact, I'm talking about fishing. Who he doesn't know about this. In fact, fishing for girls, because I'm talking about slang. He doesn't know this. Fishing meaning he's looking, meaning fishing for girls. They know only in Saigon, and they know this kind of slang. So now we pray for all, as you know, to the presented session that you mentioned on the 27th of July every year. They have a memorial day for many of the people who sacrificed for the country. As you know, that's one of the monks who come back to have a ritual to pray for many of these unknown soldiers to be liberated. How does he have the power to do it? Only tradition, culture, family, society, that this soul, just like this American, the Russian, this Chinese, they would turn around and they said, how come this country is so strange? They say, oh, this mantra, why do they do it? Over there, they just do the sign from the Catholics, but over here they do the mantra. Now you're saying the prayer in Vietnamese. We don't know what you are doing with your intention, so they hide. So this soul, I tell you, the tradition, culture, family, society, you try to apply the same ritual for the foreigner. How can you do it? You need to have the ability to help the soul to evolve. If you sit there to say the prayer, the mantra, even if you do it, a million of you are not able to help. That is how you cause a problem, because you are awakened their sadness, their hatred. That is why it causes a problem. I tell you, I cannot say anything. That is the truth. Who dare to say this? Who knows to say this? Even we say, if they understand or not, they do not. I do not criticize, but I know in the spiritual world, the law in the spiritual world. Now, I say in Vietnamese, without the translation, can the foreigner understand it? They think that I'm cursing at them. Is it right? So that is a problem, and nobody knows. And they only need a flower, a simple flower. Why you need to make all of this offering, and then with 100 people walking back and forth? So all this soul they will hide after the monks said the prayer. They just play around. They cause problem. They say it's so strange. How come so strange? How come it's so strange? They got some problem to many of these living people, and they have some problem. You do not know. That is the fact. In the spiritual world, it's so difficult, much more complex than this material world. If we know how we can help you have the ability. You can help the lower soul to the higher. These are the ordinary souls, so easy. The soldier, so easy. But this soldier who die in hatred, you don't have the ability to help them. If they don't want to go, there's no way for you to help. Master Dan cannot even help them. Not to mention just say the prayer or the mantra. But then, that's what they want to do according to tradition, culture. Then they do it. I don't have any comments, but I see there's no way to save any soul to the light. I tell you the truth. Today I share that with you, so you can understand. Our purpose is not that we are good or high. We don't have any ability. If the deities or God did not help us, and if the higher soul did not help us, then the smallest thing we cannot even do, not to mention about praying to help the wandering soul or to help the lower soul to evolve. We can never do it. That is how I share with you, so you can understand our purpose is so long, and our purpose is to help the soul to evolve, to help the soul of all the living creatures to evolve higher. So now, through this means, so tomorrow is Friday, so tomorrow so in Vietnamese at high noon. So tomorrow, all of you, tomorrow, when we come into the class, you will try. I'll give you 3-5 minutes to get ready, and then we all will pray, and then we all just close our eyes and we practice, and we pray, we send, and all of you merge to Vietnam, and then with me. We merge there. Why? To help all of the soldiers who sacrifice their life in Vietnam, regardless of any soldiers, so they can all return to the deities. Who knows? As we pray and we merge like that for the whole country, all of them, they will leave, and everything will be better in Vietnam. Everybody would win the lottery. I tell you the truth. So you can help. You can help others. You help me, then I'll thank you, because it's my own country. First, I thank you, and then secondly, those who evolve, they will bring the blessing for you. And even they give them to me, I will share with you. I do not need any blessing. I have so much blessing I do not receive. So tomorrow we try at 3 p.m. here, 12 noon in Thailand, and 7 o'clock in Holland. So tomorrow, if you want it to work well, I give you my opinion. So tomorrow you wear beautiful clothes. When I see that you are beautiful, then you can help them to go easily. Even though when they die, these soldiers, when they die, they like to see the beautiful, just like the living. I tell you the truth. So try. You have to wear yellow. Do not put so much makeup. You put so much makeup, they think that you are the medium. I have to look at him if he can translate or not. When he nods his head, I know he can translate. So now the next question.
Okay. Dear Master, for these last couple of days, I've been hearing you refer to the fact that you only believe 99%. And the 1% is the time where the air will be completely safe. I know in my heart, Master, at the first level 16, only after 2 days of the seminar, you mentioned that then you were ready to believe 100%. I remember this as I asked the question myself, and I believe in my heart that you remember this as well. Maybe according to the plan of the deities, then wasn't the right time yet. So, dear Master, how can all these 1,541 of us embody with all the souls that we carry with us? How can we sincerely wish to combine with your new soul to make now the right time? We have been through so many hard lessons, Master. How can we show you and your new soul and all other souls from all prior civilizations that we are willing to use only the power to love? Master, do you believe that now we are ready to believe 100% in the deities and in God, ready to help, ready to heal, ready to love all with energy? Thank you, Master.
Dạ kính thưa Thầy, trong vài ngày gần đây, như Thầy cũng trình bày với chúng con là now, through the question from these students, as you asked and you reminded me, for the first time when I taught you the level 16, when you can practice to travel out to space, I believe in the deity 100%. That means to help you to travel to space. Listen carefully. So, my soul is very clever. My body is also very clever. Supposedly, I will be a lawyer, not a master, because I can argue in many ways. You turn around back and forth 100 or 90, I say very clear, because I believe because I want to train my student to be just like me. I do not want to hide. I do not want to say only me to achieve. I want all the students to achieve, but in the future, all the human world, so that we all can live in the large family of wisdom and enlightenment. It is not that I'm imposing condition to the deities, because I know that's why the deity giving me the key 34 years ago. I've been waiting for that day. Why? So that we never have sickness and we will live very long. It doesn't mean that we do not die. Listen carefully. My purpose is to teach, to help you so that you can live long, with a long lifespan to serve mankind. It doesn't mean that we live long for a life of pleasure. And that is something we should not do. In many of the seminars, including this one, I keep on reminding you this. It doesn't mean that I do not believe in the deities, but I want to rush to help the human race over here to replace those in the past to serve mankind. The races in the past, they didn't have a chance to serve the whole world through the journey of billions of years. From the time the first civilization had been on this earth. So I explained clearly for you. And that purpose will come to us in a few days. Listen carefully. In a few days, for me, it doesn't mean that a few days. For those who write the prophecy, it might take 5 years, 10 years, or when I say a few days, I mean that in a week or a month. So for that reason, you have many things to do to contribute to help other people, so that they can breathe the clean air, to live long, to help mankind, as I mentioned to you. That is my purpose. In that way, the human world, around the world, God wants all the human to have the paradise on earth, to have the Long Hoa meeting for the humankind, by the light, by the true love. It doesn't mean that I want to have it just for myself. I do not want to live. I'm not afraid of death. I tell you the truth. To me, life and death is the same. There's no problem with that. If I still have the mission, the deities allow me to live, to serve, I live. But if my mission is complete, then deity bring me back. I leave the body behind just like others who come down to earth millions of years ago. This is not just the first time. That is how I want to share with you. But then tomorrow, perhaps tomorrow or the last day, I will teach you so that when we die, we can find where we can merge, or we can save the people who died for how long. Perhaps tomorrow you would learn more about that. So through the presentation from this student, perhaps tomorrow is a day I'll teach you to update for you further, so that you understand everything in the level 20 to prepare to receive the new soul that would merge with you to contribute to help mankind. So on this part, that will be the end before the end. You and me will practice to travel out to space one more time. I congratulate the success of the General Kasem that I want to share. In the organization, he spent the time and effort a lot, and with the meals for to have the many of the students who come to Thailand to learn. You take care of the meals and the lodging that General Kasem had organized. The whole according to the standard of international. You have a very nice location, as you see that in Australia right here. And you think that Australia is highly advanced, but for the past few days, my students over here, they sit close to me, and they're not comfortable with that many people. Nobody can sit because the chair over here is so small. And then I do not sit on against, because over there when they sit against on a chair, and in the morning they have to go to massage because the chair is so small, and they have back pain sitting on a chair over here, and they complain many things. And then when they have to a good location, they say that they don't need a good location. Some of the people who sent a couple of locations, they said that Master, I don't need to sit. I can sit or I can stand out the fence to learn. But when they come in here with the chair, they say they complain the chair is so small. I just want to share with you, if, in Australia right here, the chair, I look back and forth. I see all the chair. One of the person is the smallest person who can fit the chair. For those of you who are a little bit bigger, the chair is so small you cannot fit, you cannot sit comfortable. So I congratulate General Kasem. I can see that you are sitting in the hall that General Kasem had organized. That is a very high standard, even though it's costly, but we don't worry about it because the tuition fee, you cover the cost for the hotel. Important part is for you to be able to learn in a comfortable place so that you're able to learn. That is the success of General Kasem. Even though it is costly, I don't worry about it. But that is an international standard. So in the future, if you want to learn, when you have the free time, I did say that you have to listen to me. I tell you the truth. General Kasem, he let you learn comfortable. And the next time, whoever have the money to come to learn, I do not have a lot of reduction, but at the last moment, many people who dare to come, some of the monks I do not count because I owe them. Some of these people, who the monks, when I see the priest and monk in the beginning, I do not allow. But some people, many people had come already. Otherwise, more than 100 that come, that me and Kasem had to pay out from our pocket to take care of the hall. So over here, I see the student that we can see that you are laughing over here. Many people who are frowning. When they learn, they want to learn, but when they go to the class, they've been nodding back and forth. At the end of the class, they stay up to start gossiping through the night. And so now, all of you, you get ready. So to the lesson already, hopefully tomorrow, I'll have many more interesting subjects for you to learn. Remember, tomorrow morning, you need to come in on time, so that after 5 minutes later, when everybody settle in, then you and me, we can pray for all of the unknown soldiers who sacrificed in my country in general, and to pray for all of the soldiers who come to my country, who sacrifice their life in my country. Perhaps who knows some of the people from your country who came and sacrificed their life in my country. So in a way, we pray for the unknown soldier, regardless of any country, that so their soul can return to the deities to evolve. Now I give you 1 minute to get ready, and then after you are ready, let me know, so that you and me, we can practice to travel to space, so you are able to merge here and there. And for me, I'll merge to all of you in the class in 3 locations: Australia, Thailand, and Holland. So now you can get ready. These are some of the envelopes for the Vietnamese who bring the money for the master to sign.
Holland is ready.
Okay. Now begin. It is finished.
Okay, finished. Chào bà con nha. Au revoir, bye bye. See you tomorrow. Cup.